I'm so like I'm over it. Okay, I have no idea. I'm supposed to contact Amazon. I'm supposed to contact their customer service at one point, but I'm like, maybe I can't. If you're ever wondering like why you were sold like an off-breed dog, because I've only gotten pre-breeds. Like I've never had a hybrid or designer mix or like. I know it looks a little mean, seems a little mean, but like it's actually not. Okay, so basically, it's either one of the two things. So, the dog that you're gonna receive is gonna be reflective of your reputation. So, what other people say about you, based on how they've dealt with you in the past and currently what they can see. Or it's gonna be based on like how you treat other people, which is like more like your reputation. If there's nothing that they can find out about you just based on those things, it's gonna be based on your temperament. So like they'll give you a dog that has like personality exactly like yours or something like that. Not like exactly like yours, but it's like the dog is very similar to you in the same way that it how it goes about doing things to get its like end goal met, if that makes sense. So like yeah, that's what that is. So like if you're wondering, oh, I thought I wanted like yeah, I saw two guys. They were told because the breeders make those dogs all the time for people like that. They've like honestly, I think they wanted a pug and an Akita. Like one of them has a pug, one has an Akita, but like the pug one, it's actually a Jack Russell Terrier. They just made it look like that. But that's what they're saying about like that's what they think about that guy. They're like, you look like you're something else, but like it's physically you're different, but internally you're like yeah. Why did they do it that way? Because they know why they want that dog, kind of thing. Like basically what the breeders are saying to you, guy who's looking after the dog, and they've put a lot of thought in this, is that you need to actually like understand that like you're asking for something that you're gonna hate and you just want it to look like a certain way and that's all you cared about. Like they don't think he's capable of taking care of a dog. And as long as it's different from the other dogs, it's fine. Like he doesn't want a pug that's like other pugs. He wants a pug that's like a Jack Russell, which is a Jack Russell that just looks like a pug. Does that make sense? Like you want things to be different, but like it's gonna have to be exactly the same, but like just look different. That's what they're saying. It's like based on how people have gone about, like people who have befriended him, people who he's lost as friends, people he's worked for, everyone in the neighborhood who's there had a room with him or his previous landlords, or they're assessing all that kind of stuff to see, okay, so like you just want things to look different, but if you did get the pug that you were looking for, you're gonna hate it because it's ugly. Because pugs are ugly and they're really like the only reason you even have a pug is because you want a companionship, right? But Jack Russells are like more fun to play with. But you don't want a Jack Russell Terrier because they're for catching vermin and they look weird. They don't look like pugs, right? And pugs might be cute. People who find pugs cute are the ones who like to like feel better than other people by having something worse than they are around them. So that's the type of people who like pugs. Like they won't abuse a pug because their personality is so cute, but they look so physically hideous that like they'll always feel better than the pug. They're like, haha, well at least you know what, I'm looking after you only because you're worse off than me. It's me being charitable to you. Like they're conceited. Conceited people like pugs. Like the kind of what the breed was developed for, people with conceit. Right? And he's not really exactly conceited, but he's not actually any better than people who he doesn't like. It's like calling or is it the kettle calling the pot black? I think that's what that's called. And the other guy, All of his dogs are shepherds. I mean, and I know exactly why they did that. It's because he kind of screws people over all the time, and he hates it when people fight with him, even if he's in the wrong, and he just wants a dog that looks intimidating, but gets along with everyone, and he can still, like, get him to go hunting or get her to go hunting or whatever. So he wants a shepherd. Shepherds are very docile, okay? They won't fight with you, they get along with other dogs, and they have no say in how you run your household. Literally, like, they have no opinion on their own, they don't do anything except, like, you have to train them and they'll just listen to you passively all the time. But if you got an Akita, you'd end up killing it, or you'd end up, like, using the crap out of it or throwing it out of the house because, well, Akitas aren't like that. They're not shepherds, they're not docile. That's not why people keep Akitas. So that's kind of why, like, that's what they're saying, like, we know what you did, and like, I can see it too, like, in the music that he's making, right? It's like, okay, you keep telling, it's fine, honestly, it's not a big deal, and you won't even be able to tell the difference if you don't know so much about things anyway, right? Like, yeah, well, it's better for you anyway if you get this instead of, like, the actual thing that you want. It's better to get an Akita than, like, I mean, it's better to get, like, a shepherd that looks like an Akita than an actual Akita, because then you're gonna see what Akitas are really like. And regardless of your hate or love for the breed, you're just not gonna like it because it's not docile, and it's what you're looking for. You're looking for a docile dog that doesn't look docile. Those are hybrids, those are designer breeds. Looking for a designer mix, and you're upset that, this pure breed, the breed standard, why people even keep these dogs alive or whatever, isn't what you want it to be. Like, you're like, can you make it like this, but, like, can you give me an Akita, but, like, that acts like a golden retriever, but isn't a hunting dog? I actually need it to guard stuff. So, like, what's, like, can you give me a beagle and a golden retriever mix, but then, like, it has to look like an Akita, because Akitas are, like, aggressive and people will be scared of because it looks intimidating. And they know Akitas bite, but, like, I don't want it to be biting because those dogs require training, and I don't like it when people fight with me. Like, it's just, like, basically what it's like to do business with that guy is, like, it's fine. I know this isn't what I asked for, but whatever, like, I'm not gonna argue with you. Because they think he's a waste of time. That's what that says. They think Felix is crazy, and they think he's a waste of time. There was another guy, I think he has a French bulldog. Yeah. And a couple of Malamutes that look like Huskies. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, right? The Jenna Marbles, yeah, none of her dogs are purebred. They got it straight up. The breeders actually went out of their way to got it out of a puppy mill to give it to her. Why? Because she thinks dogs and people are exactly the same. But she would have given them, like, shit, and had her parents and everyone she knows call them and come after them if they didn't do something, like sell her a dog that she can't even take care of, which is insane. She was even gonna file a lawsuit and say, like, it's because discrimination or whatever. Yeah, that's why they did that. They're like, do you know people who buy from puppy mills? They're the people who no breeder wants to sell to them. The only people who are willing to give them a dog is because they need the dog. They need to sell the dog for money. Why do they need to sell the dog for money? I don't fucking know. That's how they're making their income, is by selling dogs. They think they're breeders, right? But they only people who actually buy from those people are people who think dogs and people are the same. Yeah, they don't understand dogs and people are different. Look, if you get a dog and you're like, oh, fuck, I paid for, like, a fucking Akita and you're giving me a shepherd, and it's like, do you want to know what it's like to have an Akita? Because you are not an Akita owner. Why do they think that? Because he's like, how do you think you're gonna train a purebred dog if you keep trying to trick it? They're gonna ignore you. With hybrids and mixes and mongrels, they're not gonna do that because they still consider you to be the man's master. The minute you don't know what you're doing, they're gonna try to have one over you. They're really well known for doing that. Every purebred dog. any purebred dog, the minute they see you mess up, the minute they see you slack off or lag behind a little bit, they're gonna try to put one over you or do something so you make mistakes in your social life. That's how they get their dominance traits from. Yeah, they want to be the top of the hierarchy, so like you end up relying on them, like you're looking towards them for advice instead of the other way around. They're not looking at you for advice, they're not looking for you for answers, you're looking for them for answers. That's what they're trying to do with a purebred dog. All you need to know is that your dog is there to do whatever it is that you have the dog for, and as long as it does, you can let him do whatever or her do whatever the fuck you want. Right? That's a healthy relationship with your dog. You think it's healthy to like think your dog is a replacement for a human friend? That's crazy. But yeah, that's what they were saying about that guy. They're like, yeah, you keep asking for like this, like, we know what it's like to be with you. You act like the people that you met in your past, all the people that you played and screwed over to get to where you need to go and all that kind of stuff, like they don't exist and they don't know anyone else because they're not important to you. No one else is, like, they're not important to anyone anymore because the only people that are important is you and people you consider important, and you're gonna make sure that they're gonna do better than the people that you don't care about. Like how are you gonna train a purebred dog? Because you're tricking a lot of people and you're flipping a lot of shit. And your dog, like, if Akita sees you doing that, you're gonna fuck up your social life. Just because, like, they're gonna use it as an excuse to say that, like, they need to go need more things. They need you to behave differently. Or they're gonna get slightly aggressive. You're gonna have to, like, hire a trainer, and the trainer is gonna try to, like, I don't know, abuse it into behaving, which is gonna end up with a dog attack, right? So, like, why would you do that? Like, this is what purebred dogs are known for. So that's why they did it that way. They're like, that's not purebred. I mean, it's basically the temperament is exactly the same, but it just doesn't look like that. Kind of, it's not purebred. So that's why, please be careful. Like, just be aware that other people can see you. But yeah, none of Jenna's dogs are purebred. They're not worth anything. And the reason why they did it that way is because, like I said, she thinks dogs are people and people are dogs. She doesn't understand the difference. She's like, oh, I don't want any friends. Like, oh, I lost a friend. I'm just gonna get a dog instead. It's not how that works. Yeah, but it's a puppy mill breed. It's mixed. They bred it to make it look like that. I've seen a lot of dogs that are like that in Canada. Most of them went to meth babies and meth addicts, which was weird. I've never made a crackhead or a meth head with an actual dog or any animal. No one's going to sell to them. Yeah. This is weird. But yeah, if you're ever wondering, like, what's up with my dog, it doesn't behave normally or whatever, I had the same problem, I gotta be honest. They keep telling me it's a different breed, but it's actually just a pure breed. Yeah, I've always had purebred dogs. This is not something that's new to me. But I actually love dogs. Like, I love dogs as a whole. Like, I'm fond of dogs. Like, I think dogs are great pets, and I would love to have 1,000,000 dogs living on a very large farm and spend the rest of my life taking care of them. Like, that will be my retirement. Like, that would be great for me. Like, that's how much I love dogs. And I also am not naive to think that dogs don't get aggressive. There was a guy named Dustin, and he was trying to tell me that gay guys are aggressive, and I'm like, gay people aren't actually aggressive. Like, homosexuals, like, that's what he was saying, homosexual men are aggressive, and I'm like, not exactly. Like, a lot of them haven't met an actual homosexual, and they were like advocating for homosexual rights and all that kind of stuff, and like, I'm like, dude, that's not, I mean, their heart's in the right place. I think that's where that face angle is. It's like, yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from. Like, you're trying to advocate for oppressed groups' rights, right? Like you believe they're oppressed and you believe that they're not doing so well and that you need somebody needs to advocate for them, and you should be that person to advocate for their rights, and you're gonna do things to like make sure that life is possible for homosexuals, that kind of stuff. But I'm like, yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know. This is me. Yeah, okay, whatever. Also, something that I wanted to mention, which was like, just like, what, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, if you can afford having a dog and there's something that the dog can do for you, it's great. But like, don't, like, if you ever get a dog and it has health problems, or like it's not the dog that you've asked for and it just looks like that and you're just wondering why would they would do that, like with any dealer, it's because of your reputation. Like, they're telling you exactly what other people are saying about you and how your reputation has spread. So they're like, no, you're literally like, there's something wrong with the things that you're doing, and people are saying these things about you, whether or not they're saying it to your face, whether or not they're fine with you being there, whether or not you're still in contact with them, we don't actually know. But this is your reputation, based on how we see things, how you're making your money, and what kind of people that you're associated with, and who you like, which reflects on the way you go about doing your business, right? So like, all that kind of stuff. There, if you buy a dog, the dog breeder will tell you that. I don't know about cat breeders. There's a lot of cat breeders out there. They have like really nice, cute little cats, but they're not as expensive as dogs, but they're still pretty cute. I've always wanted a ragdoll, but I haven't been able to find a cat fancy breeder. They're the nastiest out of all the cats, but they look very pretty. Yeah. Because it's like, because Persia's got the squishy faces like pugs have, and Egyptian Maos, they're really skinny and they don't have long fur, but ragdolls have like the Persian fur with like the Egyptian Maoish looking face. But like, yeah, there's another one. I think they're called Tonkas or Tonks or something. They're like really playful cats, and they look like Siamese, but they're like a little different looking. They're very, very playful. They're like dogs. Yeah. American Shorthairs. I thought my cat was American Shorthair. It turns out it was just half. It's a hybrid designer mix or whatever. I got it for free. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll take this one then. Yeah. Yeah. It's like one of the. Apparently, like, there's a lot of them on the street in Greece. It's half Aegean and half Turkish Angora. It's like a Turkish Angora without the fur. They have really nice fur apparently. But yeah, it's a Turkish Angora without the fur. So, but yeah, American Shorthairs are like, they have a really nice little cute little face, but they're like stubby legs and it's like kind of elongated, and they got like kind of medium to longish fur. Their tails are like rounded. Yeah. Or like, you know, cat's tail's like pointy, but the American Shorthair is like round like that. Some people, like, people who really like their cats, like, they're like, I don't know, they're kind of creepy to me. I'm like, cat fans are creeping out a little bit. Because they look, I don't know. Cats are really good companion animals for people who are lonely. Yeah, if you're lonely, get a cat. Don't get a dog. Your dog's not gonna end up making fun of you, like, not bullying you. Those are two different things. Like, okay, if I can describe it, it's like, let's say I spilled some coffee on my shirt, my dog would be like, if I had a dog, the dog would bring over, like, if somehow find an empty tea bag and throw it on my shirt too. Just to be like, haha, kind of thing. Or like, pee on the floor right after, so that I have to clean him up, and then remind me that I should clean up. That's what a dog would do. Whereas a cat would be like being cute and like, I don't know, like trying to like make me feel better because I felt so I spilled coffee on my shirt or something. I mean, it's annoying to people who don't like that kind of stuff, but some people will like it. I call them lonely weirdos. So like, if you want someone to make you feel better after every little minor mistake you've made in your life, then get a cat. If you want someone to like go out and work out with you, get a dog. They're gonna make fun of you.